Inflation has spiked to 3.8%. That means interest rates, they may go up in 2026. Ted O'Brien's the Shadow Treasurer, and he joins me now. G'day, Ted.
Good afternoon, Ollie.
Jimflation, is that the cause of inflation?
It sure is. This is Jim Chalmers' homegrown inflation, which is why I think the new economic term has to be the Jimflation effect. Prices are out of control. As you probably know, the ABS came out today. The prices they've gone up so high, there is now absolutely Buckley's chance of any rate cut for, mortgage holders across the country. It's just looking terrible.
He's starting to make a few whispers, though, isn't he, that there could be a few cuts coming to the public service to the tune of about 5% 20 thousand jobs could be slashed, Ted.
Look, he is starting to suggest that he might have to cut public servant jobs. It's hypocritical, of course, because he went very hard against the coalition, suggesting they need to tighten the belt in that regard only a few months ago. But nevertheless, it is true that the Treasurer and the Labor Party have been on a spending spree, and they keep racking up debt. And young Australians in particular are being hurt by that. To think that, a young Australian born today inherits a debt bill of $60,000. That's how bad debt is at the moment. It's quickly racing to $1 trillion, so Jim Chalmers will be the $1 trillion treasurer before long, and it's only getting worse. So this is the real problem. The younger you are, unfortunately, the more you're going to be hurt by Labor's mismanagement of the economy.
He says it's the annual result that's higher than he'd like, but it's much, much lower than what that is the government, inherited from the coalition when they came to office.
Well, he would say that, but what really matters is what people are paying, and prices have gone through the roof. I know electricity alone, for example, it's about 40% higher today than when Labor came to office. The average mortgage holder in Australia is paying an additional $1,800 every single month just in interest payments under this government. And this is why, as a coalition, we've been calling on Labor just to stop the spending spree. Spending is just out of control. And the more they spend money, they're pouring money into the economy. So they're competing with households, with businesses for goods and services. That drives prices up, which is why today the results from the ABS are inflation too high, which means Reserve Bank, it's only 29 days until Christmas. Any of those families out there who are just hoping to get a rate cut, that clearly now won't happen.
You have been making a presentation there at the National Press Club today, and you're going to be putting forward over the coming months, if not year or so, tax cuts as a solution to what you're labelling an intergenerational tragedy, Ted.
That's right. And again, this just goes back to the pressure that's on young people, and they're the one copping the brunt of a poorly managed economy. And the average taxpayer has paid around $5,000 a year more under this government in personal income taxes. So the average worker who might be listening to us today, they are letting go of $5,000 more than what they did under the last coalition government. So personal income taxes have been skyrocketing. And what I talked about today in a speech was the government's own plan. This is using the government's official data in their own budget. They want to increase personal income taxes by $500 billion over the next 10 years. That's an increase. So young people in particular are going to have less money in their pocket. And at the same time, you have this problem with inflation. Everything else is going up. Houses are unaffordable if you want to buy them. Rent is unaffordable for a lot of people. It's only going to get harder, which is why the government has to act. It has to stop the spending spree, and it has to start growing the economic pie.
Can you walk that tightrope, though, of keeping inflation under control and providing younger people with tax cuts, Ted?
Yes, because what it comes down to is what you do when you spend more money. And the problem we've had with the current Labor government is it keeps spending money, but it doesn't try to look for any savings in its own budget. So every government has a right to decide how they want to prioritise spending, and I don't complain about that. But they also have a responsibility to free up money within their budget. And this is the problem. The government's not doing that. And that is where the opportunity lies. If you can introduce some rules, and those rules a government needs to be accountable for. Every treasurer, since going all the way back to Peter Costello, has had rules in the budget to contain spending. Things such as finding offsets. You want to spend more, you've got to offset it. And this is where if you have a different approach to economic management, then you can find a more sensible way to balance the budget while also working out a way to give people more money that they earn back in their own pocket.
Is that the path, do you think, Ted, towards trying to knock off the government aspiration and particularly trying to harness that vote of younger Australians who seem to be drifting away from not only your party but your coalition partner there, the National Party?
Ollie, I do think that the priority for us, if I just sort of even put the politics to the side, the priority has to be to look after Australians who are struggling and give them an opportunity for the future. I mean, Labor takes it very differently. They just keep spending money, got all these problems with debt and deficits. I mean, they're looking at, 11 years of deficits. My side of politics, we believe in a strong economy. That's because a strong economy, it's not the end game, it's the means. It's the means by which you can build the roads and the rails. It's the means by which you can build the hospitals and the schools. It's also the means by which you can provide young people, aspirational people, an opportunity to get ahead. And it's only the coalition that has been capable about doing that in the past, and that's the proposition we'll put to young Australians at the next election.
Ted O'Brien, thanks for your time.
And yours, Ollie. Thank you very much.